Tonight, final preparations before construction ramps up.
So I think we have a high trust in this market and we have a high trust in ourselves to get the job done.
The latest on the St. Thomas Battery Factory with major contracts awarded. Plus, setting the stage for home building in Sarnia.
We are rewarding municipalities who build homes with the funding for infrastructure.
Thousands of potential units out of a provincial investment. And a passion for everything extraterrestrial.
I really want to be an astronaut when I grow up because I really love space.
The London boy recognized for an out-of-this-world capture.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiest.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with breaking news. Crown lawyers have elected not to appeal the acquittals of the 5 former World Junior hockey players accused of sexual assault after their high-profile trial earlier this summer. According to reporting from TSN, the lawyer for Alex Formanton was notified of the decision by the Provincial Attorney General's office today. A spokesperson for the Attorney General has not returned a request for comment. The Crown had 30 days to file an appeal after the July 24th acquittals. Formanton, Michael McLeod, Carter Hart, Dylan Dubé, and Cal Foote were each charged with sexual assault related to an investigation into an incident at a London hotel in June 2018 after a Hockey Canada gala event. A major announcement today at the St. Thomas Battery Plant. 2 construction contracts were awarded, a significant step toward getting many more shovels in the ground. Brian Bicknell reports.
Work continues on land that will house North America's largest gigafactory. But this sprawling St. Thomas construction site will soon be even busier.
What you can expect to see is a flurry of activity. We'll be pouring concrete for foundations in the upcoming weeks. We'll be building steel columns and all kinds of structural work.
Volkswagen subsidiary PowerCo has announced 2 major contracts for construction of its St. Thomas battery plant. London-based McGill Construction will build the concrete foundations, and Woodbridge-based SteelCon has been tapped for structural steel work.
This is our 3rd gigafactory that we're building. We've launched the one in Germany. We're partway through the one in Valencia, and now this is our 3rd one. So we've really built up a track record that we do build, we will build, and now we're starting to build here. So I think we have a high trust in this market, and we have a high trust in ourselves to get the job done.
Construction includes 32,500 cubic meters of concrete for the foundation and 500,000 square feet of steel formwork. The 2 companies creating several hundred on-site jobs.
That's a lot of construction workers that have to be housed somewhere. So the more local we can do it, the far easier it is on the municipality and the corporation to try and make sure that we can have people on site that are doing this and do it quicker.
Thank you. To them, parent company Volkswagen.
The news coming as Premier Ford looks to bolster domestic industries in the face of a trade war with the U.S.
This is going to be the 4th largest building in the world. And then they're going to have their suppliers all behind their main building. It's going to create thousands of jobs.
3,000 direct jobs at the plant. 30,000 jobs across the province. So when you look at the tertiary businesses, the support businesses.
From land clearing to several roundabouts, highway reconstruction, storm drainage ponds, even a rail yard. This site, massive as it is pretty much ready to go. The city now just awaiting a date for groundbreaking.
In my conversation with PowerCo as late as this morning, as soon as these companies can assemble what they need to do and get started, they will now.
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
The provincial government announced a $400,000 housing investment in Sarnia today. Lauren Stallone has more on what the city plans to do with that money to get more homes built.
The Ontario government is rewarding...
The following is a message from the Canadian National Public Alerting System.
Ontario Amber Alert in effect. The Peel Regional Police have requested an Amber Alert on August 21, 2025. Victim 1 Zaid Rahman, 8 months old, boy, Middle Eastern. Suspect 1 Shahzaib Meeman, 40 years old, male, Middle Eastern. Suspect vehicle is a 2023 grey Nissan Rogue. Other license plate CZLM113, Ontario. Last seen in Brampton. If observed, call 911 https://amberalert.up.ca.
City to the east, Wellington Road, Malden Road area.
Bradley says the $400,000 is groundbreaking for the future of Sarnia.
3,000 housing units can be created out of this money, which is huge, of all sorts of diversity of housing units.
Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing of Ontario, Rob Flack, was also in attendance. He says this announcement is a step in the right direction to address the issue that it costs too much and takes far too long to build homes in Ontario.
We are in the midst of a generational housing crisis, generational, the likes that we've never seen before. Our population has grown significantly. Our housing starts have not kept pace.
Flack says the government recognizes that change is urgently needed, and he hopes the fund will make that change happen.
We are rewarding municipalities who build homes with the funding for infrastructure, because we know that without infrastructure you cannot build homes, without water access, roads, sewer systems, and more.
The Ontario government is also helping to speed up construction of new homes and infrastructure through the Protect Ontario by Building Faster and Smarter Act 2025. Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
Good evening. It took the better part of the day to get rid of that cloud cover, but we did it. We're back to some sunshine for this evening. Beautiful conditions. It's been cool, especially along the lakeshore of Huron today. Temperatures have been in the upper teens, low 20s. London busting out of that 22-degree mark late this afternoon and making it up to about 24 degrees. Temperatures as we head into the evening will hold. Nice evening underway. High pressure building in, and again, scouring out all of that low cloud, as you can see on the satellite radar. So looking good, sun setting just before 8:30. High pressure will be our weather story as we head into your Friday. Watch for some fog developing overnight and first thing in the morning. By midnight, we're down to 16 degrees. Winds will be light and variable. I'll have your weekend weather forecast coming up. Stay with us.
Thanks, Julie. An animal rights organization is demanding St. Joseph's Healthcare commit to rehoming dogs used in laboratory testing immediately. Officials with Animal Justice say hospital leaders still have no concrete plans or timeline for releasing the dogs. Earlier this month, hospital officials announced they were ending all animal testing in London following public backlash and provincial government intervention. According to a report from the Investigative Journalism Bureau, the dogs were subjected to heart attacks lasting up to 3 hours for human cardiac research purposes. Police in the Kawartha Lakes area have sparked controversy after charging a renter accused of assaulting an intruder who broke into his apartment. Heather Wright has more on the charges and the reaction.
In this town of 22,000 people northeast of Toronto, many here are only talking about two.
I heard, what happened to, Jeremy upstairs, and, from what I understand, someone, broke into his place while he was sleeping, and they attacked him and he defended himself.
It all happened in the unit above Jesse Kalabik's tattoo shop early Monday morning. Police say they were called to this apartment for a report of an altercation. They say the resident, identified in court documents as Jeremy McDonald, woke up and found an intruder in his home. A fight ensued, and the alleged intruder, identified as Michael Kyle Breen, was airlifted to a Toronto hospital with serious injuries.
I think what he did was justified. There's a lot of, controversy going on right now.
The controversy erupted after police charged both men. McDonald faces aggravated assault and assault with a weapon charges. Court documents suggest a knife was involved. Breen faces various charges, including possession of a weapon, break and enter, and failing to comply with probation.
Something is broken. I know if someone breaks into my house or someone else's, you're going to fight for your life. This guy has a weapon. You're going to use any force you possibly can to protect your family.
Kawartha police, which laid the charges, defended their decision. Under Canadian law, individuals have the right to defend themselves and their property. However, it is important to understand that these rights are not unlimited in Canada. The law requires that any defensive action be proportionate to the threat faced.
We really need to know the details of what happened inside that home.
Defense attorney Joseph Newberger says it's too early to know exactly what happened happened inside the apartment and says Canada does have self-defense laws despite the misinformation circulating online.
We do have sufficient self-defense laws that are broad enough that if an individual comes in with a knife or a gun and you are at serious risk of bodily harm or death, you can respond with lethal force.
Court documents show there was an arrest warrant out for Breen, the alleged intruder, at the time of this incident. Once he's released from hospital, he will be held in custody pending a bail hearing. Meanwhile, McDonald will be in court at the end of September. Heather Wright, CTV News, Lindsay, Ontario.
A major sewer project got underway in downtown London today, transforming the city's core. The $18 million project will involve tunneling under the Thames River. Pits will be dug on either side of the river for a tunnel about 3 meters in length. The project will close down the Ivy Park splash pad and playground. When finished, city officials say it will dramatically increase sewage capacity, opening the door for larger projects in the core. That includes high-rises at King and Rideout, one of which a projected 53 stories tall. The new sewer link is also expected to reduce overflow impact on the Thames.
We want to accommodate growth. We need that growth. We want people living in our downtown, but we also need to make sure that we're not doing it at the expense of the environment. And this is a really important point to do that so that the sewage leaving the downtown can get across the river without overflowing here at the Forks.
A massage therapy clinic in Exeter is now offering a diagnostic tool for a chronic disease impacting nearly 1 in 10 Canadian women. As Scott Miller reports, it's one of the few sites in the country providing that service, which is not available in the public healthcare system.
A disease that impacts over 1 million Canadians each year may have a new way to be diagnosed.
It's sort of like an ECG where it's just listening to the electrical activity. An ECG would listen to the electrical activity in the heart. This will listen to the electrical activity that is in the small bowel. And it picks up a fingerprint or a very specific frequency of electrical activity that tells us endometriosis is present.
Endometriosis is a chronic inflammatory disease that can lead to pelvic pain, heavy menstrual bleeding, and infertility or subfertility in 7% of Canadian women. It's also very elusive to diagnose, taking upwards of 5 years in Canada for a definitive diagnosis, which typically ends in surgery to try and correct. EndoSure aims to change that.
On average, worldwide, it's 8.6 years to get into surgery and to get diagnosed. This drops it to less than an hour.
Only a handful of clinics offer the new endometriosis diagnostic tool in Canada, but the Exeter Massage Therapy and Integrative Care Clinic is now one of them.
People that live in rural communities don't want to go into big cities. And it's unfortunately that can be a big deterrent of something that could be life-changing for them.
Inspired by the founder of Preventative Healthcare Awareness Month, Margaret Wallace-Duffy, Vandenbush also offers OsteoSound REMS bone scans to help clients curious about whether they have osteoporosis or not.
We're, I guess, going against the current from what everyone is normally doing, but that's how you actually create true legacy change.
Wallace-Duffy says as part of Preventative Healthcare Awareness Month, she's assembled more than 75 healthcare professionals across Canada to try and make preventative healthcare top of mind for patients and practitioners.
But with one mission in mind, and that's to put the everyday Canadian at the center of their care, to stock their preventative health toolbox, to improve their health esteem so they can better advocate and recognize that they're the most important member of their healthcare team.
While the EndoSure and OsteoSound bone scans are currently only offered in private clinics, Wallace-Duffy says they are working to bring both Tier 1 tests to the publicly funded healthcare system.
This one could and should become standard of care because it is non-invasive. It's for all ages and all stages of endometriosis.
In Exeter, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Country music fans are converging on the village of Lucknow this weekend. Crowds attending Music in the Fields are expected to more than quadruple the community's population. The festival is run by the Lucknow Kin Club, raising millions of dollars for local and national charities since the festival was founded 16 years ago.
Yeah, 17 years of giving back. This year's special, we've hit a milestone of over $2 million donated back to the community, hospital, school, Cystic Fibrosis Canada, Kinsman Title Charity. So, and the fact that it's a charity event and everybody volunteers their time is really special.
A local boy with astronomical dreams has won a worldwide contest for a photo he recently captured of the stars above London. With more on his prize-worthy picture and his extraterrestrial ambitions, here's Sean Irvine.
There's this big primary mirror in the back, which will reflect the light.
12-year-old Siddharth Patel has been mesmerized by the stars since he was 5. Toy figures hint at his dreams.
Yeah, I really want to be an astronaut when I grow up because I really love space and I want to be in it too, right?
Now, from the ground, Siddharth has already begun his journey. Using telescopes, he captures high-quality images of celestial delights and posts them on his social media channels.
I'm trying to get the Jupiter or Mars in the field of view of this.
But it is this picture, taken with his mother's smartphone, that has garnered Siddharth worldwide attention in astronomy and photography circles. By manipulating image settings, he caught a passing comet streaking across the galaxy.
And with just the phone, I was really amazed that I could capture the Milky Way in such great detail in the comet.
So awesome, the photo won a People's Choice Award in an online contest by Dark Sky, a group with a mission to protect the planet from light pollution. It's a goal Siddharth shares. His award-winning photo offering perhaps the best example. Siddharth captured it in a rural area 30 kilometers outside of London. Only 1 hour after city light pollution, Kibosh plans to see the same sky with a powerful telescope on his back deck.
So that's why I became a dark advocate, so I can tell more people about this so that they can make a change.
Siddharth's deep passion for deep space is self-driven. In fact, neither of his parents was interested in space until Siddharth's fascination blossomed.
We know that this means a lot to him, so we try to support him.
Though that support comes with hesitation amidst the realization that Siddharth at a young age already has some of the right stuff to achieve his dream of traveling into space.
I'm definitely scared, actually, as a mom.
Yeah, I really think that the astronaut goal is really going to happen.
So really, the sky's the limit for you.
Yeah.
In London, Sean Irvine, CTV News.
Coming up, Canada's foreign minister travels to Washington as punishing American tariffs begin to bite. Plus, questions emerge about whether Air Canada was following the rules when canceling flights during the strike.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's latest.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVLondon.ca, your home for news.
Rock the Runway is landing at the London International Airport September 12th and 13th. Enter at CTVLondon.ca for your chance to win a pair of VIP tickets to see Marshmello, Baby No Money, and more on Saturday, September 13th.
Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister and her American counterpart met in person for the first time today. A conversation followed by a phone call between the Prime Minister and the President. With more, here's Judy Trin.
This is the first in-person meeting between Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand. The State Department says the two discussed Haiti, Hamas, peace negotiations between Russia and Ukraine, and countering China. The U.S. trade war wasn't in the readout, but analysts say it likely loomed over the talks.
In Donald Trump's world, everything is linked to everything else. And so if Canada's in a place of disagreement with the U.S. on Ukraine or on Gaza or on Haiti, then that's not something that will be helpful to the negotiations.
An example of this, on July 31st, Trump posted that Canada's intention to recognize a Palestinian state would make it difficult to make a trade deal. A day later, Trump imposed 35% tariffs on Canadian goods not covered under the North American Trade Agreement. Earlier this week, Anand traveled to Finland to meet with Nordic foreign ministers to discuss how to support Ukraine's push for security guarantees. Before the meeting, CTV News asked Anand if U.S. trade tensions put pressure on Canada to align with American interests.
The work that we're doing together is to ensure that the dialogue between our two countries along multiple issues remains open and strong. And thus far, we have had this very strong relationship.
Anand didn't answer questions about the state of trade negotiations, but today, some movement as the Prime Minister spoke to the President. The readout describes their conversations as productive and wide-ranging. They discussed trade challenges and long-term peace and security for Ukraine. The Prime Minister's office says the two leaders agreed to reconvene their conversations. Meanwhile, Carney is planning to travel to Mexico in mid-September to meet with President Claudia Sheinbaum. The two plan to find common ground so they can fight back against Trump's trade war. Judy Trin, CTV News, Washington.
Despite a tentative agreement reached with flight attendants, there's no shortage of lingering passenger frustration. Many have reached out to CTV News, accusing Air Canada of being unwilling to book them on the next available flight home. With more on the complaints and the regulations supposed to protect customers, here's Adrian Gobriel.
The Britton family's European summer adventure ended with their scheduled flight home with Air Canada canceled.
It felt like at every step of the way, instead of trying to provide a solution, it was, you can have a refund. Please have a refund. And we knew that that was really just a way of them absolving themselves of the responsibility.
According to the Canadian Transportation Agency's regulations, if an airline can't rebook you on their airline following a cancellation, a customer may choose a reservation from the next available flight that is operated by any carrier. The Britons found the next available tickets on a United flight from Italy to Kelowna. Air Canada declined to book them.
They said they didn't have access to it.
Stuck in Lisbon, Kyla Kumar also reached out to CTV News after Air Canada refused to rebook her family on a Delta flight home.
Very clear refusal to book us on another carrier.
CTV News also received an audio recording of an Air Canada agent refusing to rebook a customer because there was only a business class seat available.
You are required to put me in that space.
That is something you can take up with customer relations to see why is that not being offered, because on our end, we have to maintain the same cabin.
If only business class seats are available on next available flight, they have to rebook you.
Passenger advocates say Air Canada is knowingly breaking federal regulations for financial gain.
There is sufficient ground here to lay criminal charges.
Somebody should be doing an outreach to the CTA and saying, okay, guys, how are you going to handle this one?
CTV News did ask the Canadian Transportation Agency what they're doing to hold Air Canada responsible for breaking federal passenger protection regulations. The CTA didn't directly answer the question, saying in part that their enforcement team is actively looking into the situation and will take appropriate action as necessary.
The CTA is supposed to be the regulatory body that protects Canadian citizens. And again, these things happen. And there's really been no improvements.
CTV News has given Air Canada 2 days to respond to our questions. They've yet to return our email. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Mississauga, Ontario.
Julie's on the desk with me now. We did have a couple gloomy days there midweek here in London, but things have cleared up really nicely. We're ending the week on a beautiful stretch.
Yeah, just a gorgeous evening underway. It's taken the better part of the day for that cloud to break in the London area and parts of Chatham, but it's starting to break up now. Midwestern Ontario, you saw the cloud break early. Beautiful look at the beach, and it'd be a gorgeous sunset tonight. 25 degrees our high, 17 degrees our low. Comparing that with what's normal for this time of year, we're very close to where we should be. Even our low temperature coming in a bit above. 24 degrees, the pressure holding at 101.8, and the winds out of the east-northeast. The winds will become light and variable tonight. As we take a look at southern Ontario, you can see the cloud has cleared nicely. The cloud cover taking its time to clear towards Essex County, but breaking up, and beautiful conditions through the evening. It's so comfortable out there. High pressure will be overhead tomorrow, and that will lead to an absolute banner day. Hurricane Erin continuing its trek. It's moving to the north. It will be brushing by the Maritimes over the next couple of days, but staying well offshore. It will bring a bit of rainfall to Newfoundland. Low pressure bringing some heavy rainfall to parts of southern Manitoba, and a cold front will come in for us as we head into the weekend. So I'll tell you how that will impact our weekend forecast. Quickly looking at Erin as it moves out. Again, it'll be a Category 1, but even moving further offshore through the day today. So good news scenario there. Across the country, in terms of temperatures, it's cooler out west. It's warm across the southern prairies, and we've had some showers and thunderstorms develop in northern Ontario. So the cold front will start to take shape. So Friday looks gorgeous with high pressure. Lots of sunshine. The cold front will start to come in on Saturday with increasing cloud cover and the risk of showers and thunderstorms developing along the frontal boundary. Likely not until the late afternoon evening. So by about 4 o'clock, there will be a probability increase through the day. So early, it'll be nice Saturday, a mix of sun and cloud. By Saturday evening, the chance for showers and thunderstorms. Overnight, potential for a bit of fog and first thing in the morning. So if you are traveling near sunrise, be aware could encounter some low visibility. 13 to 14 degrees overnight across most of the region, with the exception if you're near the lakeshore, 15 to 16. A sun-filled Friday. Get out and enjoy it. Even if you're working, just sneak out on your break. Get out and soak up some vitamin D. 26 degrees with light winds expected through the day. Our Metal Roof Outlet forecast for Saturday: dry to start with a mix of sun and cloud, and then Saturday evening, the chance of showers, possibility of a thunderstorm. Sunday, back into a mix of sun and cloud. An upper trough sets up, and the forecast models have been showing this. It's very well advertised that we're getting a big cool down to start the week. So that's how we started this week. It was cool and fresh, feeling fall-like. That's how we'll start next week. Mainly cloudy on Tuesday. Daytime highs in the upper teens. We'll hit 21 on Wednesday under a mix of sun and cloud. And Thursday, we're back up to 24. Sunshine, morning fog expected, but that will mix out quite quickly here on Perth. Grey Bruce, if you are kicking off your weekend early, Friday will be the best day, and then Saturday a mix of sun and clouds. Saturday afternoon, evening, the chance of showers and thunderstorms. Daytime highs drop early next week. Now you'll be dealing with lake effect showers, so as the temperatures cool in the upper atmosphere, downwind at the lakes are relatively warm, lots of instability. So Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday, mainly cloudy, and that's going to feel quite cool. 17 to 18 degrees. Back up to 20 though Wednesday, and Thursday a mix of sun and cloud. Carlyle, back to you.
Thank you, Julie. Still ahead, are municipal employees next in line for a forced return to the office? The latest on the debate over remote work.
Coming up on the show tomorrow morning, your very last chance to score Brad Paisley tickets. He's going to be stopping at Canada Life Place this December, and we want you to be there. Be listening around 8:35 tomorrow morning.
American orange juice sales are down in Canada at their lowest point in more than 2 decades. As Kathy Lee reports, a cocktail of factors are at play, drying up Canadian appetites.
At this Centera grocery store in Calgary, U.S. orange juice bottles cling to a tiny slice of shelf space. Demand for the drink drying up over time. Canadians no longer seem as sweet on the OJ as they once were.
I drink less orange juice.
We're finding it a little bit on the pricey side.
It's a little bit too acidic for me, so for health reasons, we've cut down on that.
The changing consumer habits, one of the reasons U.S. orange juice imports into Canada hit a record low in June in more than 20 years, according to new U.S. data.
Per capita consumption in North America has more than halved in the last 20 years.
Supply issues in states like Florida because of disease and extreme weather, and retaliatory tariffs on U.S. citruses and orange juice also contributing factors.
We're clearly feeling the impact of the steel and aluminum tariffs. These retaliatory tariffs were intended to do the same thing to the U.S.
At the Bridgeland grocery store, the owner says some shoppers are branching out, thirsty for something new.
Mango juice or pineapple juice, stuff that is more of a different price point.
While desire for the U.S. imported option dwindles, at Centera, it's the opposite for the tangy juice, freshly squeezed right from the fruit.
We are seeing an increase on a per customer basis.
Jose Lomelli says thanks to oranges imported from other countries,
Egypt, Morocco, Zimbabwe.
These bottles of citrus sunshine still affordable.
This is the best orange juice.
With fresh becoming more popular and a plethora of other juices available.
Orange mango juice that's organic. I can get guava juice.
It's uncertain if U.S. OJ can squeeze its way back into shopping carts in the future or will peel out of the picture. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
Municipalities across Ontario are facing questions this week over a potential end to remote work options. The Premier is forcing provincial employees back to the office full-time in the new year, following the federal sector's footsteps from a year ago. With more on the conversation at City Halls, here's Austin Lee.
Hybrid work is a hot topic in the nation's capital.
Working from office, I get more done, but I'm a lot more stressed and I find it's a lot less enjoyable overall.
And there are a wide range of opinions.
We proved during COVID we could do this. We made the ship sail. Actually, I think we made the ship better. And I think that it's just a waste of time, spending time on the buses, stuck in traffic. No good for anyone.
I think they should come back. I think they should pay for gas. I think they should pay for parking. I think they should work like the rest of us.
There's no need to have them in the office 5 days a week. It reduces stress, anxiety, and traffic on the roads.
Less than a week after announcing provincial employees will have to return to in-person work full-time, municipal employees are now at the center of the conversation.
It will help bring the public service in the municipalities closer to the people they serve and will revitalize our workplaces and downtowns across Ontario.
The city says 85% of its employees are already working in person 5 days a week, which includes firefighters, police, and waste collection staff. Hybrid city employees are required to be in the office at least 2 days a week, but bringing them all back full-time is an exciting idea for nearby businesses.
If we do see more office people coming in, I can definitely see that. See a boom in the business.
The city's chief human resources officer says in his statement, "We regularly review our hybrid work approach against industry best practices and comparable public sector employers to ensure our workplace policies continue to evolve and align with any changes to broader standards." And it's not just the public sector moving away from remote work. Several banks, including TD, RBC, and Scotiabank, have mandated a 4-day in-office work week starting in September.
To increase productivity, to increase creativity, to mentor young people. So the reasons are varied, and again, it would depend by sector. But those are some of the things that we are hearing from our businesses.
Strength in the basic materials sector helped Canada's main stock index close higher. The TSX is up 177 points. In New York, the Dow fell 153. The Nasdaq dropped 73. The Canadian dollar lost 0.16 of a cent today. On commodity markets, gold lost almost $7 an ounce. Oil gained 81 cents a barrel.
It puts these people, these kids in this incident, in extremely high-risk, dangerous situations.
When we come back, a social media trend leads to an apparent case of child abduction in Alberta. Welcome back. Police in Calgary say they've charged a man accused of abducting a 12-year-old boy. According to investigators, several teenagers had arranged to meet the man, part of what's described as a catch-a-predator scheme. Jordan Canigan reports.
It was near this area in the Cooper's Crossing neighborhood of Airdrie. A 12-year-old boy escaped from a kidnapper.
There are numerous youth, ages 12, 13, so quite young, that have been involved in a catch the predator scheme. So apparently this is a new scheme on social media.
Police say the boy was part of a group of between 6 and 10 teenagers who arranged to meet a man in a vigilante sting to expose child predators.
These are very hard to prosecute. It puts these people, these kids in this incident, in extremely high-risk, dangerous situations without backup training, justification, and backup. It's amazingly dangerous what happened in this incident.
Investigators say the teens met the man on Snapchat and it was caught on video. Police say the boy willingly got into the vehicle, but the man drove away with the child. The boy was able to escape a short time later. Multiple teens and other witnesses called 911 and police tracked the suspect to northeast Calgary.
This has not been done before here in Airdrie. In my service time of 23 years, I haven't been involved in a similar investigation where we have somebody setting up to catch a predator or anything along those lines. This is a very unique incident.
37-year-old Zane Merchant of Calgary is facing numerous charges, including kidnapping, sexual interference, and breach of conditions. He does have a history with police.
This offender is known to the ICE unit. We've had more than one investigation and file with this offender, which again speaks to the dangerous and high-risk nature of meeting strangers, conversing with strangers.
Jordan Cadigan, CTV News, Airdrie.
Montreal police say they're investigating a suspicious fire from last week that now appears to be part of a video surfacing on social media. This video shows a suspect breaking a window of an apartment, which then went up in flames. The unidentified person who posted the video says two men intentionally set the building on fire, recorded themselves doing it, then shared it on an encrypted messaging platform. The poster says they were inside the building asleep at the time and lost everything, but managed to escape. Police say 3 families lost their homes in the fire. Rescue crews were able to extract a man trapped in mud near Ottawa recently, pinpointing his location using GPS.
We were very lucky that this caller had a cell phone that could map where he was exactly. There were no landmarks around, no buildings, nothing to pinpoint exactly where he was.
The man was trapped waist deep in a muddy bog just outside the city. He called 911 for help, and the dispatcher was able to use the man's phone to track his coordinates, helping crews find the location.
Hey there, we are getting you ready and helping you make your plans for the weekend. We're joined by KP for Mornings on 97.5 Virgin Radio with the London List. KP, what's happening this weekend? First thing, sunflowers.
Yes. Okay. Getting us in the mood for fall. No, I don't want to go there yet, but here we are. End of summer. We've got the Custom and Fall Festival with their Sunflower Fest. So you go, you can pick some sunflowers. It's really cool. My kids and I go every year and we get the sunflowers and we let them dry out and they can like pick them out, eat them. It's very fun. But Custerman's has so much to see and do, so many activities. There's like a hobby farm there if you've never been, big bouncy pillow and a zip line and everything to keep your kids entertained and you as well while you check out the Sunflower Fest.
All right, it wouldn't be a weekend downtown London without a great food festival. This one, tacos.
Yeah, tacos all weekend long. So that runs Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Covent Garden Market. It's Taco Fest, exactly what it sounds like. There's tacos, there's music, there's delicious cocktails that I'd like to try out. So a lot of really fun things happening there at the Covent Garden Market. Again, that's free all weekend long.
And sticking with food, from tacos to Middle Eastern cuisine, there's a cool festival going on.
Yeah, so it's a London Middle Eastern Festival that's happening at Dundas Place this weekend as well. Again, a really fun, welcoming event, free to check out. Amazing music, amazing food. I love Middle Eastern food.
Me too.
I definitely need to go. I can smell it already. So definitely go and check that one out. It's going to be a whole vibe and a lot of fun.
And the water slides are still pumping the water at East Park, and there's an event going on this weekend.
Yeah, first responders. So if you have kids or you just want to go and be a curious adult, you can absolutely go and check out East Park. So they have this really cool event where they're going to have a ton of different first responders, whether it's EMS, ambulance and fire and police there as well. And sometimes they have a canine unit, which is pretty cute. So you can check out the vehicles and just learn a whole lot about first responders at this event.
When I think about fairs, I think about fall, but we're still in summer, so we'll call it the end of summer fair.
I like that.
Do you like that?
I like that better.
And
more optimistic.
Where are we going this weekend?
We're going to Woodstock. So Woodstock, we have, I think this is the second fair of the season so far. So last weekend kind of kicked off the fair season. Now this weekend it is the Woodstock Fair. So that's on all weekend long as well for you to go and check out, have some fun, get some good fair food, funnel cake, and have a time.
Awesome. Thanks so much, KP. That's your London List, and we'll see you next time.
Tomorrow on CTV News, Ingersoll gets ready to rock. Last-minute preparations for the Good of the Soul Music Festival featuring Canadian headliner Sass Jordan. That's tomorrow on CTV News at 6.
Check out this beach baby. Thanks, Hannah, for this photo sent to us from Port Franks. Great beach day for your Friday. Wall-to-wall sunshine across the area. Temperatures are set to warm to the mid-20s and feeling like the low 30s. Tracking a cold front that'll push through over the weekend with the risk of scattered showers and thunderstorms and a cool down coming next week.
Israel's prime minister reportedly convened a meeting today approving operational plans for an offensive in Gaza City. Thousands of people have left their homes as Israeli forces escalate shelling on two neighborhoods. Residents say Israel maintained its pressure on the city with heavy bombardments overnight. Yesterday, the Israelis called up 60,000 reservists despite international condemnation. According to the Gaza Health Ministry, Israeli military officers have killed at least 70 people in the Palestinian territory in the past 24 hours. Ukrainian officials say Russia recently launched one of its biggest aerial attacks of the year, killing one person, injuring 15 others. According to the Ukrainian Air Force, more than 570 drones and 40 missiles were fired overnight, mostly in Ukraine's western regions, where much of the military aid provided by allies is believed to be delivered and stored. Ukraine's president condemned the overnight attack, saying it was carried out as if nothing were changing at all, in reference to so-called peace efforts orchestrated by President Donald Trump. Copper thefts are up across the country, according to Canadian telecom officials. One of the hotspots, a city in southwestern Ontario, where thieves have been particularly prolific. With more from Cambridge, here's Karis Mapp.
According to a release recently published by Bell, the parent company of CTV, copper thefts are up 23% year over year, with over 500 cases this year alone. 63% of those crimes happening in Ontario. Often, thieves will cut telephone wires to strip the increasingly valuable metal.
That's made it a valuable commodity for thieves who, whether it's stealing it from telecommunications networks or electrical utilities or construction sites. They try to take copper and sell it as scrap metal for profit.
Cambridge being named a hotspot for these crimes, specifically the Galt area.
We've seen 75 events so far this year alone, which is quite a bit of activity. That's up from 44 last year. And, I would say nationally, that region is one of the hottest regions in all of Bell territory.
When these wires are cut, they impact not only company operations, but also customer services.
This is a health and safety issue. If people are in trouble and need to call 911 and their services have been knocked out and they cannot contact emergency services.
Rogers seeing a similar surge, noting there have been 14 service interruptions due to vandalism in Waterloo region and surrounding areas in the last year. In an emailed statement to CTV, a Rogers spokesperson said police are engaged when a theft is reported. Waterloo Regional Police say as of August 17th, over 100 cases of scrap metal or wire thefts under $5,000 were reported in Cambridge, and 30 reports have been over $5,000. Most recently, a downed cable line was reported across Avenue Road. Roughly 100 meters of Bell cable had been severed from the utility pole, the suspect making off with 30 feet of copper wire. The estimated cost and damage for the theft exceeding $30,000 in repairs and replacement. Telecommunication giants continue trying to combat the practice.
They're investing millions of dollars in enhanced security, whether it's monitoring with humans, whether it's monitoring using technology. But you have to remember, we've got hundreds of thousands, if not millions of kilometers of cables traversing this country. So you can't keep your eyes on all of it.
Karis Mapp, CTV News, Cambridge.
London's top stories.
We have breaking news tonight out of Ottawa. The latest in the
breaking news alerts.
I'm tracking an area of severe weather. It'll start.
And watch live.
A development now to a story from City Hall we brought you.
Download the CTV News app.
Get ready to rock the runway. We want to hook you up with tickets to see Marshmello and Baby No Money.
September 13th at Rock the Runway. Tickets are on sale now, or listen to 97.5 Virgin Radio this week for your chance to win.
Welcome back. A bear broke into a California ice cream shop recently. Local police released these photos showing the bear parked behind the counter in South Lake Tahoe. Deputies say the animal appeared particularly interested in the strawberry ice cream, with little interest in sharing. No major damage was reported, and the bear eventually left. Back in May, actually, a different bear ran off with 3 gallons of chocolate chip cookie dough from a different parlor in the area. Finally tonight, it's not a literal needle in a haystack story, but you can't get much closer than this. A husband in BC determined to find his wife's missing wedding rings. As St. John Alexander reports, his determination paid off.
18 tons of rotting, steaming, stinking compost, and somewhere in this mound might be his wife's wedding rings.
She never takes them off.
But while washing her hands at a restaurant, Janine Van Ijseldijk realized they had somehow slipped off.
Left the restaurant. I'm like, I can't even wait for the check.
After a frantic search, the couple figured the rings must have slipped off into the compost. But by now, the garbage had already been collected.
I said I'd go to the dump in the morning and ask them if I could go through the compost pile.
He said, let me try. I said, okay.
In other words, just about everyone, including Denny Webster at the Mission Sanitary Landfill, thought this was a lost cause.
My brain was trying to figure out a way to tell him to go buy his wife new wedding rings.
However, admiring the dedication,
I was grabbing it from there.
Webster dug out smaller piles for Steve Van Ijseldijk's smelly treasure hunt.
When he has something on his mind, he makes sure he does it.
Bit by bit, he began to recognize his own waste. A popcorn bag, he yelled out.
Oh, there's my sausages.
And if you can believe it, he suddenly had one ring. And within an hour, he had them both.
And it was all slimy with popcorn and butter.
So he called his wife and told her the news.
She basically broke down crying, cried all the way home, she said.
Well, yes, because I know how much he loves me, that he's willing to go through a rotten, stinky compost pile.
I don't think he really believed that he had found it, even though he had them both in his hands.
The chances of a happy ending were unlikely.
It's not the money, it's the sentimental value.
It's the money.
But Van Ijseldijk refused to believe the impossible.
I think he would have dove in here if I wasn't here.
St. John Alexander, CTV News, Mission.
Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. I'm back tonight with your late news at 11. Bye for now.